To the residents of the southern end of the Red River Valley of Minnesota and North Dakota, the work of Minn-Dak Farmers Cooperative is a familiar and oh-so-sweet story. It's a story about family and friends continually coming together to feed countless others whom they'll never meet. The Minn-Dak Farmers Cooperative sugar beet growers will grow and harvest the crop. The plant workers will process the yield and package the food for delivery to an awaiting world. It happens year after year, again and again. As dependable as the sun coming up and the rain coming down. As reliable as nature itself. It's quite a story, and we'd like to share it with you. Located in Wahpeton, a community in the southern end of the Red River Valley of North Dakota, MinnDak is a farmers cooperative owned by approximately 500 sugar beet growers. It encompasses about 115,000 acres of sugar beets annually, and with drop-off and processing facilities added in, Minn-Dak Farmers Cooperative comprises a 10-county footprint in Minnesota and North Dakota and South Dakota. The company has approximately 304 year-round employees, about 147 seasonal, and an additional 295 during harvest. Minn-Dak Farmers Cooperative operation is a comprehensive one, starting with the planting and growing of the sugar beets, their harvest and delivery, weighing and testing, their processing for sugar, and its packing and shipping for sale. Minn-Dak Farmers Cooperative officially formed in 1972, but didn't break ground for the factory and elect its first board of directors until 1973. 1974 saw the first sugar beets planted by Richard Yagi and the dedication of the factory. Midwest Agri-Commodities was formed in 1979, and United Sugars was formed in 1994, marketing the co-products and sugar produced by Minn-Dak Farmers Cooperative. The cooperative was expanded in 1995 and has continued to build and grow throughout the years, right up through today. Sugar, sucrose, is a carbohydrate that occurs naturally in every fruit and vegetable. It is the major product of photosynthesis, the process by which plants transform the sun's energy into food. Sugar occurs in greatest quantities in sugar cane and sugar beets, from which it is separated for commercial use. A biennial, sugar beets are planted in late April or early May. A pre-harvest in September prepares the fields and the crops for the main harvest, which generally occurs around the first 2 weeks of October.
Well, it's incredibly hard work. We're going 24 hours a day right now. I've been up since 12 o'clock and we'll work till 2 o'clock this afternoon.
The first step is to top the plants with a defoliator, which cuts off the plant's leafy foliage. Then they are ready for the lifter to come through and pick them. The machine lifts them to a cleaning bed, which knocks the dirt off the sugar beets, and then lifts them onto a conveyor and into an accompanying truck. Seasonal truck drivers come from all over. They'll deliver their load of beets to nearby receiving stations or directly to the receiving stations at the Minn-Dak Farmers Cooperative plant.
We have a pastor, a banker, a jail administrator, a guy that works for the railroad. Some have driven truck and some have not, and we make them truck drivers.
The process is repeated again and again, 24 hours a day, until all of the co-op growers' crops have been lifted, delivered, piled, and the harvest is complete.
I've been a pile operator 19 years.
This is my 12th year of raising sugar beets.
This is my 5th year at MinnDak.
This is my first time. I've been doing this for 5 days.
I've been doing this since 1967.
The stockpiles of beets need to be kept cool to prevent spoilage and respiration losses. Storage piles are kept well ventilated and tubes are run through them, distributing cool air. The sugar content varies from field to field, so sugar beet samples are weighed and tested and the growers are paid accordingly. The beets are introduced into the factory at the wet hopper, where the trucks are tipped up and the beets fall into the flume, where they enter the wash house. The stones, topsoil, and other foreign material is removed. After being washed, the sugar beets are sliced into thin strips called cassettes. The cassettes are weighed and sampled for sugar content and other criteria. quality control monitoring and testing is performed throughout the process to ensure safe production of the highest quality sugar and sugar products. Slicing having been completed, the cassettes enter a large tank called the cassette mixer, where raw juice is extracted. After the sugar-laden raw juice is drawn off, the cassettes from the mixer are pumped into the diffusion tower and gently lifted from the bottom to the top of the diffuser. As hot water is added to the top of the diffusion tower, the sugar diffuses from the cassettes into the water, creating a sugar juice. The desugared beet pulp is then mechanically squeezed to remove juice and sent to the pulp dryers. After the dryers, the pulp is processed separately into pellets for livestock feed and other products. The raw juice is mingled with milk of lime and carbon dioxide gas produced from the lime kiln in the carbonation tanks. The carbon dioxide bubbles through the mixture, reacts with the milk of lime, and forms calcium carbonate. The non-sugar particles attach themselves to the calcium carbonate and settle to the bottom of the tanks, then producing a clear juice. This juice is boiled in evaporators, where much of the water is evaporated, forming a thicker juice similar to pancake syrup. After a second filtration to ensure that all non-sugar materials are removed, the juice goes to the boiling pans. Once again, the juice is boiled under vacuum and crystals begin to form. The resulting sugar crystal and syrup mix is called massaquite. The massaquite is then sent to centrifuges for separation. By spinning rapidly in a perforated cylindrical basket, the syrup is thrown off and passes through the screen holes. Clean hot water is used to wash the sugar, producing pure white sugar crystals. The non-sugars from this process produce another co-product, molasses. The molasses can either be sold as a feed product or further processed to remove the sugar and produce the additional feed co-products, betaine and raffinate. The damp white sugar crystals from the centrifugals are dried with filtered air in a rotating drum granulator and cooled in a cooler. The sugar then passes over screens, which separate the various sizes of sugar crystals, and then sent to the sugar storage bins to be cured in a temperature and humidity-controlled environment. The sugar products are then shipped to food manufacturers in bulk or packaged form. You will find that many of your favorite food products are made with our sugar. That's because most of the major food processors and manufacturers in America are among MinnDak Cooperative industrial customers.
Enjoy working with MinnDak. It's a great company. The people in the communities that in the towns here in Wahpeton and Breckenridge have just been so welcoming and open. I love coming back year after year.
Without sugar beets, I probably wouldn't be farming because it's a crop that's consistently made us money.
It's a huge economic boost for the whole area, and we're proud to be a part of that.
Everyone involved with the MinnDak Farmers Cooperative, from farmer to trucker, and all of the processing plant personnel, work hard at their task of supplying the world with a trusted, delicious sugar product. Each one writes their own important chapter in the ever-continuing MinnDak Farmers Cooperative story. A story that will go on, year in and year out, happily with no end in sight.